because I think the NHL is definitely slept on.
I can't remember the last time a GM has ever said that in person in front of the world.
He's looking good right now. He's saying, "Where's my money?"
He's looking like he's ready to back up the Brinks truck. Athletic, receiving tight end who can make an impact if a quarterback can get him the ball.
And if he continues to hit like that, I'll back up 3 Brinks checks.
I don't even want to talk about it because I could be negative. I know this pain. That's what I deal with.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Play by Play podcast. I'm Alex. I'm with Andrew and Brian, and we're back. We took a little bit of a break. Obviously, tough trying to get all of us in one room together with work and family and life, but we're back. We're gonna bring you guys, or try to bring you guys more consistent content. So stay tuned. Make sure to like all of our socials: TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. Let's get into a kind of a shortish pod so we can get to filming some other things.
Yep.
Brian, what do you want to lead us off with?
So I think the first thing I'll lead us off with, just because for most of our audience, we'll get it out of the way at the beginning, because I know that most of them don't tune into us for NHL stuff. But there's either Game 7s or series ending the past few days. Unfortunately, I know the camera's not on him, but you could see AJ distraught, our producers. Josh also distraught. The Kings got whooped by their father again. It looked real good for the Kings for a little bit. It looked insane in the first 2 games of that series. Unfortunately, I think that they do need to start going younger. It's really hard. The Penguins kind of have the same problem holding on to like Evgeny Malkin and stuff like that. I think that you got to go younger. You might need to get rid of some guys. I don't watch enough Kings games to say that Doughty and Kopitar are like liabilities. But I think that when you're playing 7-game series, you need youth and health is like the number one thing. You need your guys to play the entire series. So I think it looks like maybe they just got tired. A series that's being played right now, the Jets and the Blues, a lot of people think is a massive upset. The Blues are going to force a Game 7 against the Jets, which is amazing. I mean, I hate the Winnipeg Jets, and I think they're kind of a little bit of frauds.
I was going to say, didn't they have the best record all season?
So a lot of people would argue that their goal is best goal in NHL. Connor Hollaback's the best goal in NHL, and a lot of people would say that they kind of get carried by that. They have a mediocre team besides Hollaback, so a lot of people are rooting against the Jets. Just to stay on the West, my own personal favorite team is in what a lot of people thought were just the 2 best teams in the West. That's not just me saying it. That's a lot of other talking heads saying it. They're going to Game 7. That's not really a shocker to everybody. I thought that this would go 7. And hopefully the Avalanche can pull it away.
Where's Game 7?
Dallas. They both won a game at each other's home. The Avalanche won Game 1 in Dallas, and then the Stars won Game 4 or Game 3.
I was gonna say, because they do 2-2, 1-1-1-1, right? Or
it's 2-2, 1-1-1-1. Yeah. And so hopefully the Avalanche can play like they did in Game 5. No, they lost Game 5. Game 4. And blew the doors off the Dallas Stars and beat them 5 or 6 to nothing. Something like that.
Crazy how hockey works like that.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. On the East, you got the Panthers. Kind of no shocker they won. They're really a playoff team. I'm trying to think of some other series. The East was kind of a lot of series. They're all over, I'm pretty sure.
The Red Devils lost in Game 5.
The Devils, yeah. So a lot of those series either ended 4-1. It was pretty quick.
Not that
competitive
compared to the West.
No, it doesn't seem. And it seems like this year the West is pretty strong with a whole lot of teams. The West, a lot of them either went to Game 6 or are going to a Game 7.
Yeah.
Capitals, it's awesome to see Ovechkin obviously continue the run, and every single goal he scores counts towards that total. I don't know if this is kind of his Cinderella song this last few games. I'm not sure. That's up to him. If they win the Cup, I think it definitely might be.
Yeah, for sure.
Right off to the sunset.
But shockingly, in that series, he scored an overtime game winner, and that was the first playoff overtime game winner he had scored, and I thought that was really weird. He scored 800, 900, or 800 plus goals, and you only have one overtime playoff win, and he's won a Cup.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, the NHL in total, obviously, this is when a lot of people really start to tune in. A lot of people think that out of all the playoffs and major sports for at least America, the NHL is the best to watch because it's the fastest pace. But yeah, hopefully the more people that watch, can watch or can grow to like the game, because I think the NHL is definitely slept on. It's got a lot of similarities to football. And
I think it'd
more
be
faster paced.
interesting to look at when everything's said and done. We got a champion, right? It'd be interesting to look at the viewership numbers compared to the last couple of years. I feel like just on the outside looking in, they're a little bit higher this year.
The Four Nations helped with that a lot.
Yeah,
a lot of
for
people
sure.
got introduced to the Four Nations, and obviously, a whole lot of Americans didn't like it. But when Canada booed the national anthem, it blew up everywhere.
Yeah.
It blew up everywhere, especially with the fact that America answered with beating them, but also getting in 3 fights in the first 9 seconds of the game. So that blew up everywhere, and that really produced a lot of eyes that seemed to kind of carry on, because they were up I want to say 15 or 16% in viewership from the second half compared to the first half. And then I'm curious to see these playoffs, and then, like you said, the Cup final, where hopefully you just have 2 exciting teams, 2 fast-paced teams. A lot of people like to watch fast-paced hockey, me included. And so, this will continue hopefully next week. I'm still talking about the Avalanche instead of I'll actually stop talking about hockey if the Avalanche don't move on, because I don't have to talk about the Stars, and there's nobody I hate more than Dallas Stars. So but I don't know if you guys have any input or if you want to talk anything there.
Just from the games I was able to catch with the Kings, it was just so brutal. When you talk about the speed aspect of it, it was like, I think I texted Josh this, and I was like, dude, why does it look like the Kings are a man down? Like, the game I'm just watching, and I'm like, this doesn't make sense. I feel like the Oilers are on a constant power play. And I think after those first 2 games, that's when the Oilers really just ran away. Like, obviously, the Kings would score. I think they scored first. I don't know the stats on it, but I felt like every game they were scoring first. Yeah, so it's like, I think they just, as the game went on, that pace, especially when you see Connor McDavid flying around, it's like, how do you stop this guy?
Well, so also, the Kings implemented a very interesting thing that not a whole lot of hockey teams do. The Kings don't really seem like they like to attack in the third period when they have the lead.
Yep.
And this isn't Premier League soccer.
Yeah,
you can't just bust the bus.
But that's
That's
what it felt like.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is like when teams park the bus, you just throw it out to your D-man, and he slings a wrist shot on net, and literally in hockey, anything can fucking happen.
Yeah.
That thing could pinball up. But look at the
100%.
I don't know if you guys caught this, but the goal the Avalanche scored to take the lead last night
off a skate, right?
No, that was earlier in the game.
Okay.
Nathan McKinnon chopped the puck. It kind of went out into the middle-ish. There was a huge scrum. A Dallas Stars player got it on his stick, went to flip it out. He flipped it out, and it hit one of his other Dallas Stars players, D-man, in the shoulder, and just went in the net.
Bruh.
So, literally anything like that. It's just mayhem when you get bodies in front of the net.
Yeah.
So it's really a bold tactic to just be like, we're just going to accept. There's not 120 yards or 110 yards of pitch you can clear the ball down, or the ball or puck ball for soccer, the puck down. And plus, if you do, it's coming right back, and all the people you had on the ice got to stay on the ice because it's icing. So I saw that, and the people were talking about it, that maybe it's just a coaching problem, but it also just could be their age. I mean, realistically, you're talking about some very fast skaters, and certainly with McDavid, when you're losing a game in the third period, McDavid is going to be on the ice for maybe half that period. So and he's not slowing down.
Yeah, no, his work rate was crazy to watch.
Yeah, it was insane. You can tell he wants it.
Yeah,
which is kind of annoying, but
as a team playing against him, yes.
If we were going for an hour or something, I could talk about how pissed off I am that McKinnon's not up for the Hart, not up for the MVP for
hockey.
NHL. Just short, real quick. Maybe I can talk about it later, but just a little short thing. I don't understand how you can lead in assists and lead in points, and be I think he was 15 goals off or whatever, but he didn't have a massive goal scorer. Have an above average plus minus, and not be considered someone that had less assists and less points is in the running for the Hart. That's cool.
I think it just becomes one of those things where it's you're so good at it that it's okay, let's find reasons. Let's find reasons as to why not to give it to him.
I have conspiracy theories on why they're not giving it to him, but that's all right. That's because I'm biased, and it's all right.
But you know what I'm saying? It just becomes one of those things where it's all right, what's the reason as to why we can't give him? And then you start nitpicking, and it just becomes a thing. That's when I feel players are great.
The reason they can't give it to him is because they don't want people to talk about him like he's just as good as McDavid.
Spoken like a
And he
true Avalanche
And
fan.
he is.
Yeah.
And he is.
The
I am more
goggles.
happy. I am more happy that McCarr's up for another Norris Trophy because he's ran away with it this year, and he's probably gonna be it. But I know that we wanted to talk about some other stuff, maybe some stuff that you guys can obviously be more insight, certainly more insightful than me about this. The NFL draft was just a little bit ago, and there were some shockers. We're not going to spend an hour and a half like
We're not going to
majority
be
of
like
people talking about
ESPN
Shador and
yeah,
all that.
No, we're not.
I don't really give a fuck.
He's not going to start the year, so why would I care?
No, exactly. And so I'm curious, besides the whole dropping to the 5th round thing, what was your biggest like shock? Maybe a guy falling, maybe a guy team reached for.
Yeah.
And then for your own personal team, actually, you want to go ahead and answer the first question. I'm sorry, and then I'll ask you this.
Okay. I mean, instantly, you say shock. I look at the New Orleans Saints. They drafted 26-year-old Tyler Shuck out of Louisville in the 2nd round. And I don't know what they're doing. He will be 31 by the time his rookie contract expires. And that's including if the team picks up their option
I
for
was
the
going
5th
to
year.
say.
So minimum 30 years old when his rookie contract
You're also
expires.
drafting him to hope you pick up the option because he's good.
Brutal.
On one side, okay, you're gonna have him for cheap for pretty much his entire career as a starter.
That's
But,
if you keep him for that long.
If you keep him that long, right? On the other hand, the Saints, what are we doing? He is by far had one of the worst combines. He was, I think, not just like Mel Kiper or McShay's, right? It was everyone's. He was maybe like 10 through 15 as far as ranked for quarterback. I thought there were a lot better options available that they could have gone if they wanted to go quarterback. I thought that they could have made a move into the first round again, like the Giants did. Go after a guy like Jackson Dart.
Yeah.
Go after not a surefire, because I think there's no surefire quarterback here. I think besides Cam Ward, I've kind of grown on Cam Ward a little bit, but no one was getting that pick. Titans are taking him all day. So you try to take a guy or take a risk on like a Jackson Dart late in the first round, like the Giants did. You have him sit behind whoever you got playing quarterback this year.
Probably less.
You can start a quarterback. Well, for the Saints, you can start Spencer or Derek when he's healthy, right? You're still gonna be bad. So have him sit behind veterans, right? But now Tyler Shuck, who's probably gonna be the starter day one, you're still gonna be bad. So then what are you going to do next year? Say Archie comes out of college next year. I don't think he will. I think he'll stay another year. But say you win 3 games, you got the number 1 overall pick, and you got Archie there. How are you going to justify not drafting him first overall when he's supposed to be this like future, next level, next generational talent? So I think Saints, I don't know what you're doing.
Well, it's the wheels. It's the bad franchise wheels. They continue to spin.
Yeah.
You get the quarterback with a shitty team. Quarterback, shocker, doesn't perform on the shitty team because your team's crap.
Mm-hmm.
And so you get rid of the head coach. The new head coach and GM come in. They're not connected to that quarterback. So after that next year, they get rid of him, and then they get the next new savior with still a shitty team, and then it just keeps going.
Vicious cycle.
And going.
Yeah.
And going. And that's just... I mean, it's a hard cycle to get out of, too.
And I get it. He is Tyler Shuck. He is experienced, to say the least,
I would hope.
He was Justin Herbert's backup when Justin Herbert was at Oregon. Justin Herbert's been in the NFL for how long? 4 years almost? I think 4 years.
Yeah, probably.
So that just shows how long Tyler Shuck is playing football. So you can say he has the experience. We'll see if that... At the end of the day, you're playing ACC football, right, at Louisville. That's a lot different than going in and playing NFL, being consistent against NFL caliber teams and defenses. We'll see what the Saints are doing. Maybe they're cooking, but who knows? Maybe they know something we don't.
They're going to look like geniuses if he's good.
Oh, 100%.
But if you like the experience, why didn't you just trade that pick going to like the 3rd and then
get Shador?
Well, not just Shador. Even if you were out on Shador, right? Like you didn't like him or whatever happened. Why didn't you go with the guy that has experience and won a national championship? And just draft out and trade out of that pick, get some more picks, and draft Will Howard later in the draft.
Yeah.
If you like the experience. I don't know if anything jumps off the page for Tyler Shuck that Will Howard doesn't do.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know. I mean, I personally like my college. I personally like quarterbacks that have college experience. I'm watching a guy that doesn't have that much college experience kind of struggle right now.
Oh, yeah.
And then you have other guys that are really good that had a lot of college experience. So I don't know.
Do you have a big shock of the draft?
I think for me, it's just the Jags putting their nuts on the table. Whether you
that
like
was huge.
whether you like the player or not, I think the trade to get Travis Hunter just puts a shot in your arm for the team, who I think weirdly they've always kind of had expectations to do well. You know, they brought in Doug Peterson, not there anymore, but you know, yeah, you know, you had all these things that you were expecting for the team to do well, in what I would say is usually a winnable division.
Yeah.
And they've just been so bad every year since. And then you bring in a new coach, and you know what? You say, hey, let's give him the team, and let's give him the best player, probably, obviously, in their draft minds, in the draft, and let's go get Travis Hunter. So for me, I feel like the Jags getting him, more than anything, is just a good move for the culture of the team.
Yeah. If I'm a Jags fan, right?
Yeah.
And I'm watching that post draft press conference, and you see the GM go up there and say, "Fuck them picks."
Yeah.
Hey, we're playing Madden. I like that shit.
I mean, obviously, this isn't
I can't remember the last time a GM has ever said that in person in front of the world.
I was gonna say, I remember the Rams guy. Was it? I can't remember. I'm drawing a blank, but I thought he said it too.
What really blows my mind is, like, obviously these GMs like to hold on to these picks because it's for the future or whatever. But I think the way I see it now, I'm obviously not an NFL GM, is how often is your first rounder going to be Travis Hunter?
Mm-hmm.
Probably not very often. This is why I don't get where like teams are like, oh yeah, we're not willing to give up that third or that second for like DK Metcalf, right? A lot of, I mean, I'm sure a lot of teams would have or could have offered a second round pick for DJ Metcalf, but they felt like that was too much. The way I see it is
DK Metcalf
is the guy that you're going to draft in the second round with that pick fucking DK Metcalf? Probably not.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Now I understand this whole cap stuff that goes into that and whatever.
Sure.
But if you're a team with cap space, like the Colts, and they didn't shell out a second rounder to help out the team, why not? But when it comes to Travis Hunter, the thing that I like is the team trading up for him solidifies the fact that they have to believe he's going to play both sides.
Yeah,
they're at least going to give it a run, and I want to.
They're at least going to try.
I think they already said that he's gonna play corner and he's gonna play wide receiver. Now, what the percentage of split is gonna be, I think I will tend to lead more to 80% corner, 20% wide receiver.
Really?
Packages.
Well, it's also nice because like they have good wide receivers. Or they have they have a star.
They have
a good wide receiver.
Yeah, Brian Thomas is freaking electric.
Yeah.
Like going off of last year, right?
Yeah.
That I can really see Travis making an impact on offense, but I think he has a better chance of making more of an impact on defense.
Oh no, is this year at some point he's gonna have a game where he's got like a pick, maybe for 6, and then also like 100 receiving, like 5.
The first game he has a pick 6 and a touchdown.
It's worth it.
If you don't want to hear about it, don't go on Twitter. No, that's all NFL, ESPN. Everyone's going to talk about.
Everybody's going to talk about it.
Glazing will be real.
Yeah, 100%.
But I'm interested. So real quick, not really off topic, but when it comes to fantasy, do you think they're going to do for IDP leagues? You think they're going to do the whole Shohei pitcher type?
Yeah, you'd have to.
You'd have to, right? Yeah. Travis Hunter defense. Travis Hunter. My corner just caught 2 tugs.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you'd have to separate them.
Yeah, you'd have to.
And I think in just a regular league, I wouldn't be comfortable drafting in like top 5 or 6.
No,
obviously.
definitely not. I was just thinking like in my mind, like, obviously it's not similar to Ohtani, I guess, where, I mean, maybe he is. Maybe he's one of the best wide receivers in the league as well. But, I mean, it's a lot less physically demanding to hit than it is to play wide receiver and corner. My biggest shock, I guess the only thing I didn't really pay much attention to draft. That's why I said that you guys can do more in this. My biggest shock is going to be my homer thing because it was a guy I really wanted at the beginning of the draft.
Oh, that's a layup. Yeah.
It was a guy I really wanted at the beginning of the draft. And the fact that there was a tight end that got taken before him.
Yeah.
I personally think was crazy. I was a big fan of Tyler Warren coming into the draft.
Yeah.
I understand the Colts just re-signed or extended Mo Alley Cox, but that
Have fun blocking.
Tyler blocking, but Tyler Warren can block too.
Yeah.
I mean, I was a big fan of it. You needed like a for sure safety outlet for AR, like someone that's just going to get open, someone that's can catch contested balls and all that. And Wally Cox maybe 6'8", but there wasn't really that connection with AR. So we'll see how it goes. I mean, he caught like 21 passes in a game one time for Penn State.
You guys know how much I love tight ends. So he was obviously, in my opinion, the best tight end prospect this draft for sure. So the Bears going Colson Loveland, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
That's one of those things where Ben Johnson has his guy, and apparently he
likes
guy.
him. Yeah, he likes him.
So we'll see. But Tyler Warren, after watching him firsthand go for about 200 against USC.
Is that the game where he caught like 17 balls?
Bro, he had like 16 catches, 100-something yards, 2 touchdowns. And guess what? He played running back, fullback, wide receiver, tight end. Pretty sure he'll end up at quarterback. He is the ultimate Swiss Army knife this year. And the best comparison I have is look at what Brock Bowers did last year.
Yeah.
You have an athletic receiving tight end who can make an impact if a quarterback can get him the ball.
Yeah. So here's the thing. Here's the catch and why it's a steal. All right. He played quarterback in high school. Now listen to me here. All right. Not only did they draft their franchise tight end, if AR doesn't work out, I got the franchise quarterback.
Yeah, sling that rock.
Listen, baby. Shea Steichen can get people open. You just gotta hit him.
Hey, if JT's a little shaken up,
get the big man
back there.
Get the big man back there. That's
what I'm saying. It's so nice to have a Swiss Army knife like that on offense, and you got to just hope that him and AR have already started that bond and that chemistry. You got if you're a Colts fan for sure.
You got to hope. All right, so obviously not only was my shock like the Colts, so obviously that would have been my idea on the draft for Colts. I thought the Colts had a very good draft. You being a Ravens fan, were you pleased with what the Ravens did, or would you like to have seen more?
I'm always tough. I'm too tough on the Ravens when it comes to drafts. When statistically we have been the best drafters the last 20 years. If you look at all of our first round picks, I think the last 10 years, our first round picks, 6 or 7 of them have been either a Pro Bowl or an All Pro.
Seeing a second contract, certainly.
Yes. So Malachi Starks, former All SEC first team defense last year. I think he was second team defense in the SEC the year before that. We had a big need at safety. Marcus Williams was damn near an open door last year after giving him
the bag
40-something million in free agency. He was a healthy scratch in our playoff game last year. Towards the end of the season, he was a healthy scratch multiple games in a row. See you later. We cut ties with him. We need to fill that safety position. I think he's a nice instant plug and play starter, right? He's a dog. He's going to go out there, hopefully get a lot of tackles and hopefully get a lot of turnovers, maybe some pass deflections. I'm excited, but I will always say, give Lamar more weapons. The more weapons, the better, right? I would have loved to see it addressed sooner with some of these guys that I really liked, right? Some of these wide receivers that fell in the second, third round. I would love to draft one there. I don't think we drafted our first wide receiver till the 4th or the 5th round. But
kind of getting the Aaron Rodgers treatment.
It's
no wide receivers.
But that's Ravens football, man. Always going to draft defense and offensive line.
Yep.
And it's kind of worked out for defensively, right? So we'll see.
Yeah.
It's just you look at last year, especially against the Bills in the playoffs. No Zay Flowers kind of limits the wide receiver core, even though Bateman had a good year last year. Shout out Cody. Mark Andrews had a good year besides the last play of the game for them.
That's unfortunate.
It just would have been nice to see, especially because we didn't add any additions in free agency as far as new weapons. I guess we added D-Hop. This is a retirement season. Go out there. He's going to catch 40 balls, maybe a couple touchdowns. We'll see.
Key first downs, maybe.
Yeah.
Gets open, can still catch the ball.
Yeah. Well, if he can stay healthy and he can actually contribute, I'm not expecting 1,000 yards from the guy.
No.
I just want some contributions.
You're
right?
just trying to. He's type of guy that maybe when you look at the stat sheet at the end of the day, he's catching 4 balls, maybe all first downs.
Yeah,
That'd be sick.
Yeah.
Like, maybe one of those is a touch.
if he like week 1 he goes out there and he goes like 4 for 60 and a touchdown, that's perfect.
Well, I mean that's
Right, that's nice.
Also,
I'd take that. I'd take
So
that
we'll
for,
see. That's why I said
Yeah,
week. I'm not expecting it every week. Week 1, if he goes out there and shows, hey, I still got it.
yeah.
That'll give me some hope.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I like the pick.
All right, good. What about you, sir? Texans, do you think they addressed some of their issues, or do you think that you would like to see more from the Houston Texans?
If you were to look online, they would probably tell you that they should have went offensive line earlier, but then they traded back into the second, or they traded up in the second round to get a guy from, oh my God, I think it was Arizona State. I want to say they got him from. But then they addressed the receiver concerns that I had personally, just for CJ and him having a new offensive coordinator going into the season, losing Stephon Diggs to the Patriots in free agency, and then having Tank out for the.
Tank's always
It's not guaranteed out for the year, but it's not looking really good.
Yeah.
Just getting hurt late in the season.
Well, and
So-
if you also aren't performing super duper well, he might be just out for the year in general.
Yeah. So, and I think them getting the 2 Iowa State boys, 2 very different receivers, I think it just gives their offense a needed boost, because we saw Joe Mixon. He looked great last year for the guys. And then you got Nico Collins when healthy, one of the best receivers in the league. So I feel like for me, you added Christian Kirk through trade. That's an all right move, but
he's also
it's
a guy
definitely
that has some injury issues in the past.
So it just goes back to that. So I think adding 2 receivers, adding to that continuity. Obviously, they're going to be familiar with each other. I feel like for me, and especially with a young quarterback, because he might have had a great rookie seasons, but he still had growing pains last season. So I think giving him more options to go through in the offense is definitely needed. And I felt like I was very happy with it, especially the fact that they traded back out of the first round to then get a receiver in the second round and a second pick next year. I thought it was a great move for the team.
Good value.
So I like their move.
All right. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
All right. So let's go to to a different sport now.
Yes, sir.
The sport that's playing their regular season right now. You're wearing a shirt. You're wearing a hat. I'm wearing a hat. The MLB. We could obviously spend a lot of time talking about the MLB.
Yeah.
I guess first we'll start with, I don't know if you guys want to talk about the Halos or anything like that, or about Mike and his recent injury or anything like that. Unfortunately, obviously nobody, all the people here, even when Cody's here, never want to see that happen.
Yeah.
Thankfully, it's only a bone bruise, I think.
They're calling it a
which is-
bone bruise. Got put on IO. I guess he came out today and said
Feels a lot better.
Yeah, it's not as bad. He's looking to be back pretty soon. So let's take his word for it.
Yeah, we'll definitely take his word for it. I hope so.
Yeah.
At least so. I don't know if there's anything you guys want to bring up.
It just obviously doesn't help the case or the argument that everyone has, all the haters always have every year. Charmin Ultra Soft, right?
Yeah.
I think honestly, let him recoup that energy, recoup that health, right?
striking out a lot.
Yeah, it's a slow start to the season.
Yeah.
Maybe something clicks. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully he can use this time to, kind of sit back and rethink his approach, because he was striking out, was hitting a good amount of nukes, but was striking out a lot.
Yeah.
All right, some other headlines. I haven't checked the box score today, so he might have lost it today, but Bobby Witt's hitting streak, I believe, is up to like 27 or something like that, 27 games.
Double check.
If he got a hit today, it's to 27 or 28. So that's obviously unbelievable. He's still got, I think when he gets to 28, it'll be the halfway mark.
Bobby Witt did not get a hit today.
Ooh.
No.
So he,
2 strikeouts.
oh, damn. So he lost his hitting streak one game
game
shy
shy.
of the halfway mark for Joe DiMaggio's record. That's unfortunate. And then another record, obviously we're only in the second month of the season, but another record that people are looking out for is the fact that Aaron Judge is hitting about 420, 415 right now.
Ridiculous.
On pace
For power. He's
Barry Bonds numbers.
hitting about 415 right now. He's looking, even if he, slows down at some point, he's looking to still hit 350 on the year, probably on pace for 60 nukes.
Hitting 430 now after going 2 for 4 today.
With a nuke, probably?
No.
Oh, no new.
He's
Soft.
nuts.
No, you know what really shocked me? Because I was watching a little bit of the Yankees game today was, dude, Paul Goldschmidt is going
Raking.
oof.
He's also raking. Yeah.
He's going off. And I was like, dude, what the hell is this? That's a torpedo guy right there with this guy, Volpe. Dude, him too. He's having a great season.
Yeah.
I thought he slowed down a little bit.
No, let's see his numbers on the year. Well, okay, he's hitting 239, but God, what was the stats that I was seeing? 5 homers, 19 RBIs. Out of a guy that plays good shortstop, I think you take that.
Yeah, you definitely do. I think that but Aaron Judge obviously is insane. He hasn't lost any of the power numbers really. He's still on pace to hit 50, 60. His strikeout percentage is way down low. It's normally sitting around the 30%. He's down in the low 20s right now. Other than that, I mean, you obviously have the teams that pay a lot of money or playing real well. You have the Padres who can't seem to get out of the injury bug. They lost. I know that we showed you guys this before. They lost probably Tatis for a significant amount of time. If it does seem like
Did he come out of the game?
Hopefully not.
He had to
Yeah,
have, dude. There's no way.
I just didn't see if he did or not. Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
that sucks.
sitting right now, I obviously, I don't know. Is there any team that you guys think is overperforming so far and you think is going to end up falling off after the first month? And then is there any team that's underperforming that you think is going to go off and end up finding themselves a playoff spot?
I mean, I don't know if we can say, okay, I guess to their standards, the Braves,
They're
but now they're
like 2 games under
really-
500.
They're really heating up. So it's like,
Last time we spoke, they were like 5-18. Like, fuck.
yeah, I think we knew that if you were to count them out, it's one of those. You just look at the talent, and it's a stupid amount of talent.
Yeah.
And that's a team without Ronald Acuna right now, who, controversy aside, is still probably their best player on that team. So it's like you're hovering around that 500 mark, and you're missing your best guy. Things are looking up. Now I don't know if they can catch the Mets because I would say Juan Soto is having a slow start to the season, and they have the best record in baseball. So or one of the best records. I think that okay.
Oh, they might be tied with the Dodgers still.
I was gonna say the Dodgers won today.
I think the Cubs are also at 22 wins.
I think the Mets are at 23 after today or 24.
One of the best records.
Yeah. I think they're tied with the Dodgers for the best.
But it's like, I think it's one of those things where,
And he's starting to heat up recently too.
yeah,
He's hitting about 350 in
Yeah.
the last week or so. It finally hit his first home run at Citi Field yesterday, and then followed up with another one.
Yeah, Mets and Dodgers 22 and 11.
Yeah.
Dodgers 22 and 10.
okay. But yeah, I think just he's not having this Juan Soto season so far.
Mhm.
So it's like if he could just start hitting a little bit, and if the polar bear could stay hot, yes, he's looking good right now. He's saying, "Where's my money?"
He's looking like he's ready to back up the
Oh,
Brinks
he's
truck.
my-
Opt out. He's gonna opt out.
Inbound.
Opt out. Oh yeah. I actually wouldn't be shocked if in the press conference tomorrow he goes, "I'm opting out of my contract." Like, yeah, potential move. Like, I get it.
Yeah.
And like you said before, if he opts out, obviously going into this season, I was hesitant about paying Pete Alonso. 100% I was, because I didn't think that he brought the value that he did when he was younger. When he was younger, he hit 280, broke the record for most home runs by a rookie in the NL, in Major League Baseball. And he was unbelievable. Run Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
He wasn't striking out at a huge percentage, and then you slowly started to see both. Oddly enough, you normally see just the power numbers go up while the average comes down. They both started to come down. The strikeout rate really started to get up there.
Yeah.
This year, he's laying off those sliders outside. His strikeout rate is way low. He's walking more.
Yeah.
And if he continues to hit like that, I'll back up 3 Brinksters. Also,
Where do I put the money bags?
That's the thing though. So it's like if the Mets can get Juan really going like he can, I mean,
Scary.
and you're still missing Sean Manaea. So it's like, and you got guys like Griffin Canning performing who
I'll say even
RIP the Angels.
without Shaman the
They're the
Mets
best
still
starting
have the
pitcher.
best pitching rotation.
Yeah, Clay Holmes.
statistically.
I think his
Holmes has been
ERA
really
is at
good.
like a 3.12. So it's like,
oh, he gave up 3 runs today, so it might have gone up above
Yeah,
there
yeah,
again.
yeah.
But
I
he
was
had
gonna
like
say,
a
that's just-
2.8 going into the game or something like that.
but for a guy that was technically a project going into the season,
Griffin Canning
You
is
would-
shoving.
You will absolutely take it. But
Clifford Canning is shoving.
Last year, I was calling for his head. We ain't never got something close to this.
it's the Angels curse.
I know.
I don't even want to talk about it because I could be negative. You're gonna sit here and think this guy's wearing Angels gear and he fucking hates the Angels. That's how
You're
I'll
damn right. And I'll do it again.
sound because I've lived this. I know this pain. That's what I deal with. So no, I will not talk about the Angels who suck and are currently
Oh, don't.
they're tied right now.
Oh, they tied now 1-1?
Yes, they're tied.
Oh, okay.
But for a team that I think has lost the last like 14 out of like 18 games, or yeah, of 18 games, that's fucking sad.
You know, I would
Like,
how electric were the Angels the first 2 weeks of the season?
And then how electric was Kyron Paris my goat? No, he sucks.
We suck again.
I should have sold his card. Damn it. His card was worth like $5 going into the season. He went off for the first like 2 weeks. It went up to like $35. I was like, I'm holding on to it. He's a stud. Damn it. But yeah, I mean, just to bounce off what you said, because I will always glaze the mess. The Talon McGill's pitching exceptionally well.
yeah,
David Pearson's kind of picked up where he left off
Yeah.
last year, which is huge.
you were always big on him, so I'll give you
Yeah,
your flowers.
The only thing that's a big concern for the Mets right now is the IL for the bullpen. AJ Minter's gone for a significant amount of time.
I like
Edwin
it.
Diaz has been battling injury. I think AJ Minter's injury is so bad that they signed Brooks Raley, which I'm a big fan of. I actually wanted them to re-sign Brooks Raley going into the season. I can't believe Brooks Raley didn't find a team. to be
That's
honest
yeah. I
with
was
you.
gonna say. I was surprised. I thought he was in AAA or something. So I was
yeah.
like, oh, they called him up.
And then they immediately put him on the 60-day IL as well.
Oh,
Because then I found out that he had not Tommy John, but he had an elbow surgery.
Oh, okay.
So that was probably
That's
why
why
they
he didn't
immediately
get
put him on a
signed.
60-day. So that's probably how bad AJ Minter's injury is.
Yeah.
So you're missing a whole lot of key bullpen guys. And the Mets starters, I will give them this, although they are really good, they struggle to go deep into games. You're probably getting like 5 from a Mets starter.
yeah.
Really good starter, you're getting 6.2.
I think my only issue with that is like you had to see it coming. You didn't have any really workhorses
No, your
In your
workhorses,
rotation?
your workhorses hurt.
on the IL. But
Yeah.
even what was his last season with the Giants? He was coming out of the bullpen.
2022.
So it's like
No,
if
2023.
that's your
because
guy.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's like you really think about it. Who
But he
you
was
don't
coming
look
out
at
of the bullpen
guy
because he was
coming out of-
ass.
Yeah, but like even for like a team like the Angels who aren't very good, you look at a guy like Tyler Anderson. You know for sure he's going out there for 5, maybe 6 or 7. You know, so it's like I look at the Mets and I'm like, can I trust Griffin Canning to go out there for 6, 7? I can't trust Clay Holmes to do that for you yet, not yet at least.
They'll work up to it.
So it's like you got all these guys, and you're just kind of, I felt like looking at the Mets, I could have told you, hey, we're gonna need a strong bullpen this year, which is probably why you made moves like get AJ Minter, who I'm a big fan of.
Big fan of AJ Minter.
So
I was always happy about taking talent away from the Braves too.
yeah, so it's like hopefully they can address it soon. Whatever teams start realizing, hey, we suck. Let's start offloading some guys. The Mets should for sure maybe look at starting pitching, but for sure hit the bullpen first.
So just to kind of wrap this whole thing up, just to put a bow on all of this, like yesterday, for example, Cody Senga threw 4 innings, gave up 5 hits, 1 run, struck out 6 guys, and threw 90 pitches.
That's a good start.
Well, that's a good start, but 4 innings.
Yeah,
Like that's what I'm saying. It's like, yeah, it's a good start, but you're getting,
that's a lot of
You're
pitches
eating
for 4
it's a lot of
starts.
pitches
Yeah, you're eating into
for
your
4
bullpen,
innings. Yeah.
and that's for every starter. All right, I think that's pretty much it. We just a quick-ish recap, I guess.
Yeah, because there's there's really no big storylines going on in baseball right now. I know tonight we had the Tristan Casas injury. I don't know if we wanted to talk about that, but
Until we know what it is, I think that it's
I just saw that Alex Cora said he's gonna be out for a significant amount of time. So now it's kind of like,
Rafi at first base, baby.
but is that something you do now? Like
You
that's
have-
something you should
Now
have
it's just
been
a plug
doing.
and play.
That's something
I
you
think
should have
it's
been
just
doing
plug-
the whole like the whole spring training or other guys.
I think Rafi would be into that. I kind of think he'd be into it.
How's he hitting as a DH? Is he doing all right?
I don't want to get into like the deep numbers. I just saw that his average, I think he's around like 230. So
I mean, that's not bad for how he started.
yeah, for sure. Because I'm sure since the early skid of
Right,
over
280?
18, yeah, he's probably hitting like at 280,
Yeah.
290. And I'm sure you can go to the whole slugging on base.
OPS
I
plus
yeah,
bullshit. and all
but,
that.
Batting 242.
Yeah, see, I mean, with the start, that's not too bad. But I think you got to plug and place Rafi at first base.
21 RBIs, 5 home runs.
It's not bad. I mean, he's certainly not Bregman. Bregman was red hot. That dude. It's just you saw that lineup and you saw how many lefties they had, and you were like, Alex Bregman is a perfect fit.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone realized it except for the Red Sox until they were like, wait, hold on a minute.
Wait.
This guy might be good for us. He kind of rakes in Fenway. Let's get this guy. Lo and behold, who's probably having the second best season in the AL right now behind Judge. He's carrying that team. I mean, we'll see what happens with Rafi. I just felt like that's something that we could have all seen coming, where Costas was never like, yeah, he's going to play 162 for us, and that's our guy. It was more of we're going to go out of the season, hope he can kind of bring back what he's shown in the past, but it was never something that you were going to be like, yeah, that's our guy.
Yeah.
So that's something he should have done in the offseason. Hopefully he can kind of figure it out quickly now given the injury, but we'll see.
We'll wrap this up.
Yeah. So thanks for watching, guys. Again, keeping it a little shorter than usual. Make sure to look out for our YouTube shorts. Also on TikTok and Instagram. Give us a like, follow, and comment. If you really comment, that does help us out a lot.
For sure.
We love to hear your opinions. We love to have banter back and forth. So feel free to throw them in there, okay? I'm Alex. This is Andrew and Brian.
Yes,
Peace.
sir.